Welcome to You Ask 502, the podcast where real stories meet real skills from the plumbers, pipe fitters, and service techs of Local 502. I'm your host, Ryan Kleber. This isn't just another trades podcast. It's our story, told by the people who live it every day. From apprentices to seasoned journeymen, we're talking shop, sharing lessons, and highlighting the wins and challenges of life in the field. With over 25 years in the trade, I've seen a lot, and I'm here to bring those experiences and yours to the mic. We'll cover everything from technical tips and union updates to job site stories and career advice. So subscribe, tune in, and be part of the conversation. This is US 502, powered by Local 502, driven by you. All right, welcome to the podcast. Joe Sutherland, how are you, sir?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing, Brian?
Good. So this is the next edition of US 502. As always, I'm your host, Ryan Kleber. Joe's joining me today. Joe is from Benesys, the benefit office. We're going to go over some legal stuff here, so I do have to read this disclaimer to make sure I don't mess it up. So this episode is intended solely for informative purposes only. Any information provided should not be used as financial guidance / advice. Please contact a financial expert before making any decisions. So good? We got that wrapped up? All right. Keep suing me, son of a bitch. All right. So a lot of questions about fringes, a lot of questions about bidding guard, pension, all kinds of stuff. You know, Joe's been doing this. How long have you been here now?
I've been there since March.
Okay. So you're pretty well versed of what's going on. You know, you have to learn under Dan for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Cindy's a big help. So
I worked in the railroad industry for their union, their pension and retirement, and their benefits for 10 years. So a lot of medical claims background.
Are they similar in any way, or is it kind of?
They're similar without the exception of the requirements. They just had to meet a minimum.
Gotcha.
Years. They didn't have like a total accumulative.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, where do you want to start? Do you want to kind of go over the fringes? So, you know, I guess we'd like to take some time to explain some of the fringes of the law.
Yeah, absolutely. First, I'd just like to say that this healthcare plan is as good as any plan throughout the country.
Yeah.
The fringes, obviously, with the hearing aid reimbursement, vision care reimbursement, the dental, the HRA, all of those are wonderful kind of fringes to the medical plan as a whole. And it's wonderful if everyone's using it, but there can be some headaches and some roadblocks, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay. All right. Where do you want to start?
Well, we'll start with the HRA substantiations.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So we at the benefit office would love if that didn't exist. But too many times people think we have an HSA, but we in fact have the HRA.
True. That is true.
And because that money rolls over from year to year, there's a lot more contingencies and a lot more restrictions as to what you can or cannot use your benefit card for.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to talk about in detail.
Okay.
But if you do get a benefit card substantiation letter, please give it the credence and try to take control of it before it gets too late and the card gets extended.
I don't respond until it says final warning.
That's right.
Like, all right, I got to jump through some hoops here.
But you recently had to do one.
I did.
Yeah. And you had to go through every channel that the members have to go through.
And I was cussing like it's my card. You know,
that's right.
I know how it goes. So do you want me to go over some of these scenarios?
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll be the guy. All right. So, All right, Joe, I recently went to the state fair and I got a massage and they told me they accept FSA and HSA cards. So I used my HRA card to pay for it and now and I'm not for it, and now I'm not being told that it's an eligible charge.
Yeah, so what happens with those is these people are quick to tell you they'll accept those forms as payments. Yeah, they just want money. So they'll say, oh, yeah, you can use your HSA card, but too many times people don't hear HRA card.
Yes.
And that's a big distinction when you're getting something that can be viewed as cosmetic. So if you're getting a massage and there's not a recent injury to your body or the doctor can't kind of confirm why you needed that massage, then the benefit card probably is not going to be able to substantiate that charge.
Yeah, it has to be like in the context of physical therapy.
It does.
It can't just be.
Yeah, so if you go to a place at the fair and they say, oh yeah, use your card, you can, it's all covered, and they tell you they have this Japanese style massage and you say, great, that'd be awesome. Just know that more than likely you kind of need to be prepared for the substantiation. Okay. And if you don't have that letter of medical necessity or a reason why you got it on that particular day at that place.
All right.
Probably
I saw that place.
That's right.
Called Happy Endings with a Z. So, from the streets.
That's right.
All right. All right. Here's another one. My wife is using it. My wife is using this for a boutique health spa, and they said we can use our HSA card to pay for the monthly service fee. Why was I told this charge is not eligible and I will have to pay my card back?
Yeah, too many times they're going to tell you that they'll take the money. This is the same issue as before. They'll say, "Oh yeah, we'll take that payment," but I would say they're in the business of getting monthly payments,
Right.
and they know your benefit card is going to have a money available every month. So if they tell you it's accepted form of payment, it doesn't mean that it'll be accepted on the benefit side.
Right.
Consequently, you're going to be asked to substantiate it. Now you got 7 months of, $84 a month charges. At the benefit office, we're going to have to tell you the unfortunate news that we probably are going to need you to pay that card back.
Right.
And when you don't, the card would be suspended. And then you're going to be angry, which I understand. But as a general rule, just if you're going to use it for anything outside of a co-payment or co-insurance at that doctor that day, kind of go in with the thought process that you need all the proof that you can get as to why you did it.
Yeah, I mean, you want the itemized receipt. I mean, I tell people too, like, guys like, well, I always forget the receipt. I'm like, just take a picture of it. I mean, you put folders in your phone. I mean, I just have a picture of every receipt. Yeah. And then whenever you say, hey, I got something, I'll just email the receipt, and there it is.
Well, and the general rule, if you think about it, is if you go to the doctor, that doctor's going to file a claim with our insurance.
Right.
So we can look at that claim and go, oh, yeah, they paid $50 or $75. Right. Here it is. But if you go to a spa or somewhere at the fair and they're not filing claims, the benefit card people are going to ask you to send that payment or send that proof because we can't verify it on the claims.
Huh. So you would just need to find a way to get a claim against your insurance.
That's it.
And that's how you skirt the system.
If you ever want proof, you would say to that person, are you going to file a claim with my insurance? Or if they don't take your insurance card, then you would know they're not filing a claim.
Okay.
And then it's incumbent upon you, the member, to prove everything. And another way to look at it is, let's say you worked for the union for 10 years, and then you take another job, and you could still be paying your stamps, but you're no longer in the health plan.
Right.
Well, you might have accrued $15,000 in your benefit card. Well, now your new plan, you want to use it all the time. Well, that's wonderful. You can do that, but we need to see those claims or we need to see those EOBs. And that's why they're going to get them almost for every transaction.
Who kicks it back? Does the government kick it back because of the taxes?
So we kick it back, but the government, the IRS is...
Cindy personally.
No. It's Benesys up in Michigan. But the IRS sets the guidelines as to what is approved or what's not. And when they can't see those supporting claims or they can't find a reason why it was used, they're going to come back and ask you to substantiate it.
Okay. All right. Let's go on to the next one. I recently bought glasses and purchased a warranty on the glasses. I used my benefit card. Now I'm being told I have to repay $39.99 to my benefit card. Why? Warranty plans are cosmetic and not considered medical treatment. Therefore, the money would need to be repaid to the card. I feel like I know this guy.
Yeah. Absolutely. The plan has the vision, the eye care reimbursement. They're not going to pay for any warranty because we would obviously pay for them in 2 years. And warranty, if you think about it, it's not going to cover just general miscare of the item.
Okay.
So if anything breaks down as a result of it, then we would just suggest maybe choosing another vision, provider. But the warranty plans, according to the IRS, are going to be viewed as an excess to what the core, an add-on. And so then you'll have to pay the $39.99 back. So go ahead and buy the glasses up front, but just don't get mad in the end for that warranty because then you'll be asked to pay it back
or pay the warranty on your own.
Or pay the warranty separate from the benefit card, and you won't have to worry about it one bit.
Because you get one pair of glasses every
2 years.
Okay.
Or the contact lenses.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess, you kind of be, up a creek. So it'd be worth that $40 investment.
Absolutely.
Something happened to your glasses.
Yeah.
Because you can get a new pair replaced before the 2 years.
Absolutely.
Instead of paying a whole new $200 or $400, right?
Right. $400. But the general rule is just use it for the core usage of the card, and whatever you pay out of pocket is fine. But later down the road, if you're going to use the card, we're going to ask you to pay it back.
All right. I think you got one more here. So my wife and I just had a child, and the hospital charged our card $2,500 as a down payment, and now I'm being asked to substantiate the charge. How do I do this?
So this one is a little more complicated, and that's why we put it last. A lot of times
I think you mail in a piece of the placenta, right?
That's it. You got to have the specimen. With U of L, Norton's, and Baptist Health, what they're doing now, and this goes for surgeries too, is let's say you need a shoulder surgery. They say, Ryan, we need you to pay $2,500 up front because that's what we predict to be the out-of-pocket expenses for this procedure from your insurance. And then you say, well, sure, here's the $2,500. Well, then let's say your total costs were only $1,300. They got to refund you $1,200.
Okay.
Sometimes they put it on the card. Other times they mail you a check.
But then if they mail you a check,
you got to bring it back to the card.
Okay.
And a lot of times the members get that refund and they go, oh man, it was great. I spent that. Well, just know that if you get a refund of that amount, it's more than likely probably it in this case was a down payment from whatever projected and you need to pay it back.
Okay.
Most members will call us when they get that refund and say, hey, should I cash this or is it good to spend? Because they want to make sure they probably got burned or heard of a story of someone that got burned in the past. Just know that you can always call the benefits office. Joe or Cindy is available 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. We'll be glad to explain the whole process to you. But what will happen with that $1,300, back to your case, is we would show the claims that reached $1,300.
Okay.
The benefit card is going to say, well, where's that other $1,200? And that's where we say, okay, find out where that refund is, or did they refund your card? And then that's when we come back and we show them the substantiation of the 13 for your member responsibility. Okay. And then we account for that 1,200 and then it goes away.
All right.
What happens in a lot of our cases is if you get that itemized statement, you'll send it to us. Well, it's only 1,300. Well, then we got to go, well, where's the other 1,200? And then it becomes a mystery. But just know that whatever you put on the card, it needs to penny for penny match what you substantiate. And that becomes an issue. But the surgeries and the newborn down payments are a thing. And we're seeing it far more often, probably in the last, obviously I've only been here since March, but we see it frequently. Okay. And the members just pay it because they want, they want services to be done, especially if it's a newborn. Right. And then when it's all said and done, if there's a discrepancy, just call Joe or Cindy and we'll be glad to work through the claims and figure out what that amount is and then help get you to the finish line. Okay.
Do me a favor. Come this way a little bit. Like you're not easily in the picture.
Yeah. I'm left-handed, so I was leaning on my left side.
My bad. I just looked over. I'm like, Joe's not even in the screen here.
Yeah. No.
So moral of the story, please do not ignore benefit card substantiation letters, which I think we can all agree on. I got one more I heard today, and I told you about it. So there's a gentleman who, in collections, wanted to use his Benny card to pay the collection.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a no-no. And I won't offer the advice, but I'm saying, but that's a no-no. And you can't even pay it and then bring your receipt in because it's over 2 years, right?
Yeah, if that charge is over 2 years, they're not going to substantiate it and they're going to say that it's an invalid charge.
What's the cutoff?
The cutoff is the 2 years.
Okay, so if it's a year and 5 months.
Yeah, we still got time.
Okay, and you can use your Benny card for a collection if it's under 2 years?
If it's a medical collection.
Okay.
I mean, if it's an unpaid car note, probably not.
Well, no, obviously. Yeah.
But if it's a medical collection, the only caveat is we still need to see those EOBs.
You need that. Because I've actually come across this once, is that, you bring something in, it's like, here, it shows that I paid ABC, collection scumbags. And it's like, well, cool, but what was that for?
Well, a lot of those will operate in different spaces.
Yeah.
So they might have an accounting space, they might have a medical space, and they might have a legal space. And because they're all three merged, we can't make that differentiation if this collection was medical or if it was accounting or if it was legal. So that's where that EOB is important, or that initial receipt from whoever you owed the money to initially. Right. Not just GLA collection. We need Baptist Health. Here's the receipt. Here's the claim that showed you owed that much money. Okay. And then from there. And it can be convoluted because sometimes if you have an incident, say you blow out your knee, and trust me, you get so many EOBs and so many people calling wanting money. I understand why you wouldn't pay it just because it's confusing. Right. The doctor is at the facility and there's two different bills. Yes. The doctor has a bill and the facility has a bill, anesthesiology. And so you're going to go, no, I'm not paying.
They want their money up front.
So
they won't even put you to sleep.
No.
Go ahead and pay this off.
That's right. So Baptist might have 4 or 5 different charges that say accumulate to the $900. And we just need to see those itemized so that we can help you get that suspension lifted or that charge substantiated.
I got you. So I blew this up too. So this was to log on to your Wexel. Wexel card. So I don't even know if I'll be able to do this or not. But Let me just see if they can see it. If people can get a screenshot of that, and it's going to be too bright.
Yeah.
All right, I'll figure out a way to post it. But essentially, what it is kind of Joe just laid out exactly how to log into your Benny card and register for the first time. Now, most people have already registered and you can only. So mine's under like a different email. So once I got elected, I was able to redo it and use my work email. But before it was, and then once you had to change the password, I had to use my wife's email at one point because, I wasn't the best at keeping up with that. So it's gotten better.
And if it tells you that you're already a user, just call us into the benefit office. We can tell you what email address is registered to that account. We just can't change passwords, but we can tell you like the email. Like if it was an old Yahoo, we can tell you that's it.
Okay.
And you might have to call Wex Health to get the username, corrected. But if you can go through that and you can log on, it'll tell you your benefit card balance. It'll tell you when money gets loaded. So if you wanted to see, hey, I worked 90 hours last month, and then you can see when that money was loaded to make sure it was correct, and you can see what charges are out there.
Doesn't it still say, like when you type this in, won't it still come up mybenny.com?
I don't know. You see, we don't have we don't have the benefit card.
No, it's my Wex Health. It used to say my Benny for the longest time.
Well, and we've had people call and say that your union site directs them to the wrong site.
Oh, really?
So that's why, I wanted to put that in there because I don't know what's on your on the union site.
Okay. I'll have to I'll talk to Lisa.
Yeah, and that might be where the old My Benny card directs you to. But it's my.wexhealthcard.com login page, / login page. Will at least get you started, and it'll get you your benefit card balance. It'll get you everything.
So once this is done and wrapped up and it gets posted to the YouTube page, I'll also put it on the local Facebook page. Yeah. And then I will accompany that with it that way. There's a little literature to follow up on.
Perfect.
So, cool. All right. Got some more scenarios here. If you want to So, say for instance, say I had a baby over the weekend. Yeah. I have a kid. What do I do? How do I add my newborn?
You always want to call us and tell us. Okay. You have 30 days to report, and then you have 60 days to get us that birth certificate. We understand Frankfurt could be very slow. Sometimes mail gets lost. If you're not going to get it within the 60 days, just call us back, and we generally can extend it another 30 to 60, but we don't go outside that 90. But you can always just call us and say, I had a baby, here's the birth date, here's the name, here's the gender, and that baby will have coverage. But after that 60 days, if we haven't seen that birth certificate or we haven't heard from you, then that baby's coverage is going to term. Mom is going to be with the baby at the doctor's office. They're going to get a denial for non-coverage. And then everybody gets a little upset. But it's something that you can kind of curb if you just stay on top of it.
All right. Like most things in life.
That's right.
Out there. What was another one? Oh, what about a stepkid? Say you got married. How long do you have to add a stepchild?
It's going to be that same thing. We're going to look at the marriage certificate. Now, if that stepchild already has insurance, that's okay. No big deal. But just let us know that the other insurance exists. And then let us know if we're going to be primary or if the other insurance is going to be primary. We don't mind paying primary or secondary as long as you tell us that the other insurance exists, because if we get an EOB and then say Cigna is the other insurance, well, Cigna is going to point at Anthem to say, no, you all pay. And then Anthem's going to point at Cigna. And then it's just going to be a real big peeing contest, and we're going to all be in the middle. Okay. So it's just always good to be transparent and let us know. We still have members that, like the child may stay under dad's insurance, but dad's not going to be working beyond, the end of the year. So then we change it over, say in the future, just to say we'll be primary as of this date, and we can set that up as well.
We're talking about stepkids?
Yeah, stepkids.
What if, just hypothetically, someone calls you and they've had a stepkid for over a couple of years and just now want to add him? Like, is that a big deal? Is that?
It kind of is. I mean, if they tell us, because we would need to know these life events, and the nature of the life event is if something in your life changes, we just need to know. We should be the first that should know. And it looks a little suspicious if you go 3 years without telling us that child is a stepchild, and then now you want to cover them. Right. So we're going to think, what happened that prompted you to call us? Or, did they have insurance and now you're mad at the other insurance? Okay. Well, no, just tell us up front, and that's always going to be your best strategy. because we can change that, because if they lost coverage with the other insurance, that would qualify as a life event. So there's no reason why you shouldn't have told us from the beginning. Because whatever reason you need to cover them now, it's usually going to qualify under a life event, other than you just didn't want to cover them and now you do. Well, we're gonna ask questions, and it's usually going to upset the member.
Can they? I mean, like, what does that have to go in front of the?
It's going to have to go in front of the board. Yeah,
okay. So
it's
we
going to
had
have
a trustee meeting this week. If that was something,
Mhm.
we would have to discuss it.
Yeah, there's no reason to not tell us.
There's really not.
Yeah, just go ahead and tell us, and I promise you.
Especially if all your other kids are.
Right. We will.
Why do you have one holdout?
That's right. We will work tirelessly to make sure that your needs are met. And yeah, we will. So just let us know and be transparent with us, because we want to defend you at this meeting. We also have a representative that sits at the meeting, and they are able to offer their input as well.
Right.
So why not tell us? Because if it's fresh on our mind, we can speak to the board and kind of campaign on your behalf.
Yeah.
But if it's something that we're not going to know about, we can't speak intelligently on it. We're just going to kind of remain silent, and you're going to be at the mercy of the board.
All right, fair enough. And the board does not play. So we kind of touched on this. So say what if I just got married? Say I went to Vegas, got eloped this weekend. I know my wife would kill me, but you did come back. How do I get that?
Let us know, but we can't do anything until we get a copy of that marriage certificate. And most marriages, you get that marriage certificate that day. So if not a couple of days. So just bring that in, and then your wife can be covered the date of the marriage. Now, again, it's kind of that same thing. If you wait 2 months or 3 months, it just looks a lot more suspicious, and then we're going to have a lot more questions. So try to just coordinate it as close. But
does it retro back to the marriage date?
No.
Say by the time, it's just when you
submit it to us is when that spouse.
I know there's a date on the marriage certificate.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, if you bring it in within 30 days, it'll retro to the date of the marriage.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, but if you wait 3 or 4 months, we're only going to do it to the first date closest to the following month that you're out.
Okay. All right. Here's a good one. So only have a medical card. So everyone has the card.
Yeah.
If they don't have a VSP or a health dental card, how should I receive those? So I get calls on this all the time.
That's right.
You go ahead and.
So with vision and with dental, these aren't comprehensive plans. Like dental is just simple cleaning, root canal, or extraction. They pull the tooth. Like there's really not many codes, right? So in a dental plan, all of the members will be served up to these dental providers by Delta, and then they can look at you. They can look at your coverage. They can see what's available. They can track the money owed. Most dental offices know everything. So what I'm trying to say is you don't need a dental card because it's not as comprehensive as
your
medical.
Name and social is enough.
Your name and social.
Right up, which I know VSP. I think we had a Delta dental card at one point.
Yeah, we can get you one, but it's just not necessary if you don't need it. But VSP.
I've been going to the same place for so long that they don't even. But VSP, you just
VSP same way.
Vision Works, most of the big ones.
Most of the big ones always accept VSP.
Your social, and then
you give them that.
This is what you're eligible for. They see your plan.
And that would go for any of the dependents as well. So if you have a child or an adult child, now if you have an adult child that goes away to college, they're just going to need to find somebody that accepts VSP. Right. If they go to Kentucky, more than likely it's good. But if they go outside of the state of Kentucky, you just need to call the vision places nearby and see if they accept VSP of Kentucky, and then that'll be how you circumvent that.
What about the hearing?
So the hearing is a benefit that's reimbursed by the fund. So you're
Is there an ENT? Where would you go to get a hearing? I've never.
Well, if you just go to the hearing, or they got that otolaryngologist or whatever, I can't even say it.
Right.
But if you go there, it's going to file medical.
Okay.
But if you get those hearing aids, again, it'll file medical first, and then whatever is your responsibility at the end, you can pay that and get reimbursed by the fund, because that one is fund directly. So you just fill out the paperwork at the benefit office. We get that process, and then the refund comes right to you.
Okay. I'm getting close.
Man, I'm getting close.
I'm just more. I'm like, I need subtitles.
That's right.
And you watch Peaky Blinders, it's over. I have no clue what anybody's saying. All right. It's a rough one.
Yeah.
So this person is recently or going through a divorce. What should they do?
Yeah, they should just call and let us know. The biggest question we get on divorces is when is he or she going to get off the plan?
Right.
And of course, we understand why it's important to that person, but legally we can't do anything until once we know a divorce is happening.
Quadro.
We can't do anything until we get that quadro. or that divorce decree acknowledging that the divorce has been finalized.
So this is what I see a lot with, some of the men in the local is that they'll get a divorce and then they'll want to turn off one of the Benny cards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, she can't use it unless she's for them. Or I guess maybe she can as long as she, because she's been going to a place long enough. I guess she can slide it in for a while, but, I guess because, you can't, it's kind of getting in the weeds here, but like, you don't really get credit for paying insurance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Correct. Because you pay whatever it is now, regardless of whether you take it or not, like it's part of our CBA. So it ain't like you pay extra because you're going to get it whether you have 18 kids or no kids.
Yeah.
That's what it costs.
Yeah.
So the judges usually rule that it's not a benefit that you're providing.
Yeah, that's correct.
You know what I mean? I guess unless you can prove that the mother or father would have to take on extra insurance at their job.
Yeah.
So I guess then you can get her to write off. But I don't know, it's the whole thing.
Yeah, it is. Just always let us know, because that Quadro is going to come into play for retirement anyway. So just go ahead and let us know and keep us abreast of what's going on so that we can update the notes. And there are a lot of times, Cindy and I sit almost as far away as you and I are sitting now. But if I don't put accurate notes on a person's profile and somebody calls her and they don't get me, she's got to be able to read my notes, discern what's going on. So we try to keep them as updated as possible. Yeah, so that the person that takes the call knows what's going on. And
well, I think this is before you got here, and maybe not, but I think it was, is we had a member pass away. And he had never called in to say that he was divorced.
Yeah.
So his wife, first wife in his eyes, in our eyes, it's still his wife, still the beneficiary. She had everything. And he's with another woman, and she is not entitled to anything. So the death benefit, which is $20,000, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that, and of course, I think the woman, the first wife, eventually, conceded, but I mean, she was well within her right to be like, thanks for the money, bye. Cause,
Yeah, she could have.
Especially because I think, you can kind of.
And we get that a lot where the person says, well, they don't want to give us information about that ex. Well, we're already going to have it on the Quadro, and we already know the marriage existed. So just if you have moved forward in your life, then come back in and fill out that vital form, redesignate, reappoint those beneficiaries.
Even if you just move your kids in that spot, because with the 5-year guarantee, I mean, you don't want money going to someone.
That's right.
Despised now, whether it's your fault or not. I mean, you know what I mean?
And come in and ask us, who's the beneficiary, because we can tell you that information, and then you can select from there who you'd like to appoint or nominate.
Even on the UA side, too. I mean, you really want to make sure you're covered on all that. The 401k,
it's imperative.
You don't want, it's thinking you have it set up for your, your new wife, and all of a sudden, number one gets it.
And if you do plan on getting remarried, you do have to be married for a certain amount of time prior to your retirement in order to be able to pass that down.
1 year, right?
1 year. Yeah. So make sure that you let us know that marriage exists and that you've moved on, and then we'll update it.
Will that count? So say no one told you. Could I bring the marriage certificate and it's 6 months old and it go back to the date of the marriage for the year, maybe not for the insurance?
Yeah. That's fine. It's just going to have to be the clerk's office. I mean, if you got it approved somewhere else.
Okay. We talked about this earlier. Actually, my son's going through this too. So I'm 22 and I'm covered on my mom and dad's insurance plan.
Yeah.
I want to stay on that plan until I'm 26.
Yeah.
Will this be okay?
It's always okay. The issue that the fund views it like this: if in your case your son's on your plan, well, we only want him to get those glasses once every 2 years.
Right.
We only want him to get that hearing aid. Now, of course, he probably wouldn't need a hearing aid, but we only want him to get the same benefits that he would as a dependent of non-working dependents.
Okay.
So if he goes and tries to get the dependent card or the eyeglasses on your plan, and then he goes under his plan, they're going to look at it and say, yeah, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
So it's always important that if he stays on your plan, that he always uses your health card first for all of his medical appointments.
What do you recommend?
I would recommend staying on parents' plan as long as you can. 26, stay on it.
My son's 21.
Yeah, stay on.
4th-year apprentice. I mean, until he gets married or.
Till he gets, even at getting married, because we have some female dependents who get married, and then we still cover them until they're 26.
If he gets married, is she on my plan?
No. It's just the child. Yeah. But the thing that I guess the key takeaway is whoever you want to be primary, just always be consistent with that person being primary.
Okay.
Because in the system, like for your son, we're going to have dad's insurance primary, his insurance secondary. And I think people don't understand, like even as his insurance is secondary, if he went and got a co-insurance for X-ray or MRI, and let's say he owed 180, well then they can file it again under his insurance to pay that co-insurance, and it would save your benefit card.
Okay.
So, but we have to be designated as the secondary. So it's always key to let us know what's primary and what's secondary.
Sorry, I know I shook my head, but I actually didn't follow there. So,
Yeah.
so he's on my insurance now, all right? And
Yeah.
then he goes to get an X-ray.
Yep.
And why would my insurance refuse it?
No, your insurance pays it. And then he has a $180 copay. So let's just say it was an 80-20 split, like 80% covered,
Okay.
and the 180 is the 20% copay.
Okay.
Now his insurance can pay 80% of that $180 because they would have paid that. Yeah, as a secondary, they could do that. So he would only have to pay 20% of the $180 residual that was left over because his insurance qualifies to pay because he has full payment insurance that is provided by his employer.
So it's like a hack.
Well, it's the insurance premiums though are still being paid. So
Right,
whether it's yours or
But I
his.
mean, think about it,
Mhm.
because it's coming out of my check,
Mhm.
coming out of his check.
Yeah.
He's not using it
Yeah.
because he's on mine.
Yeah.
So now it'd be like, I don't know. So there you go.
That's awesome.
Y'all need to start getting married out there, all right? Marry your coworker.
Yeah.
You can game the system.
Well, you could, but if you ever use a secondary insurance, no matter who it is,
Right.
that secondary
Even
has.
if it's the same insurance.
Yeah, even if it's the same. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The fund has to pay it because his insurance is funded by his employer the same
I
way
would
yours is.
just assume that since it's already been hit once, it
Mhm.
couldn't get hit again. Even though it's coming in under a different name, it's still the same.
But it's
Right, man? Whatever.
his insurance is kind of separate to yours,
Right.
and even though yours is going to pay the primary, as a secondary, they have to pay whatever his member responsibility is according to the plan. Like I said, if his insurance requires a 50%, co-insurance, and then they would pay 50% of that $180. But
Okay.
it has to pay. I mean, it's still the premiums are still getting paid.
That's cool. All right. I like that. All right. My daughter is 23 and she recently married. Can you tell me about her insurance? I need to change her name on file. I would love to tell you all about this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the first thing we're going to ask about any adult child, and even with your son, is we're going to say, is there a PHI on file? Which this is going to bring up a perfect time. So PHI is the Protected Health Information. So this is going to be the perfect time to remind you that if he doesn't come in and fill one of those out, even though he's got his own insurance with the union, we can't tell you anything about his insurance because he's an adult. And so we would need that PHI to be filled out in order for us to be able to tell you anything.
Okay.
So if you're saying, hey, I got this claim, on my son, and I need information on it, I'm just going to say, yeah, Ryan, I can't tell you anything until we
just
get
like
the
when
PHI.
I fill mine out, I'll put my wife on it.
That's right.
Okay.
And more than likely, he's going to list mom and dad anyway. But as long as he lists you, then we can talk to you. So
I don't even know if he's filled anything out yet. I guess he had to.
Yeah, but the union would have had him fill out, but he probably hasn't filled out anything for us just because he's thinking, I'm under dad's insurance. But yeah, he should come in and fill out just because that brings up the most important part. Always come in and at the bare minimum fill out a vital form that gives us information on you, the member. Okay. But it also gives us a chance to get a photo ID, a birth certificate, because if you don't get those things, when you go to retire, that's when it's going to come up. And then you got to find a birth certificate. Yeah. If you were born, like in my case, you were born in 1977, in 2040, I got to find my birth certificate. Well, if I'm not good at keeping that stuff, which I'm not, then I'm going to have to go to Frankfurt. I'm going to have to get that birth certificate, and I'm going to have to give it to the benefits office when I retire. So it'd be a good practice to do it as early as possible.
Actually, I don't know how many, I do know how many, like dozens and dozens of times that people, need a birth certificate for work. Or, it's like, I can't find it anywhere. Do y'all have it on file? I'm like, well, you never brought it in. We don't. Yeah. But sometimes we do. And I'm like, well, if you brought it in, I could have got you a copy of it.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of retarees that come in and they're like, well, you should have it. I'm like, yeah, I should. But if you've never presented it to the benefits office, we wouldn't have it. And that goes with photo IDs. Yeah. And that's what these kind of life events are what we wanted to get. The purpose of this podcast is to remind you that don't assume that we have it. call us and ask us, and we'll be glad to tell you. But a lot of times we get them for newborns and wives, because when you get married, you got to bring a copy of the birth certificate of the wife. But we never have one for the member. And then the member is like, man, a gentleman was born a long time ago, and his was almost like handwritten. And even though it was like from so long ago, and we had to copy it and keep making it till it was legible, but they wouldn't fund his retirement until they got it. Nah. Yeah, it's wild. So always try to do that.
Always try. Okay. All right. So now we're going to venture onto the pension a little bit. You feel good about that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So this is always the good one. So Joe, I'm thinking about retiring on January 1st, 2039. Can you give me an estimate?
Yeah, man, I'd love to get that for you. And then I would say to you, are you aware of the summary plan description? The SPD, as it's called.
No, sir.
It's a little pamphlet, a little booklet. It's about this big. It's a little square, and it's sent out to remind everyone what the guidelines are for the retirement, because there were changes back in 2014. So you need to be aware of those changes. But that summary plan description is exactly what you're.
3 charts.
Yeah,
okay.
And that's where I'm getting my information. So if you call me, I'm pulling mine out, and that's where I'm getting the information from. Yeah.
So would I be penalized for retiring at 58 years old?
Yeah, and see, that's what that SPD will tell you. And what you're going to look at are the 3 grids. So you have the rule of 90, which is the total years of vested service plus your age. And if it equals 90 at retirement, your rule of 90. And then you have the penalties for the old money, which is anything before January 1st, 2014. And then the new money penalties, which is anything after January 1st, 2014.
That's only for
That's non-rule of 90. So rule of 90 is on top by itself.
Rule of 90 is just one stipulation.
Yeah. And if you're ever rule of 90, it's going to trump the other 2. So
well, you got to be in before 2006.
Right, as long as you were in before 2006. Yeah, but you're not going to be rule of 90 at this point.
Probably not, but just for, just doing the math.
You're exactly right.
If you didn't get into after 2006, you don't get the rule of 90.
Yeah, don't worry. But it would be, mathematically, it'd be very hard if you came in before 2006, and unless you came in at 50, and then, but also too, it's 62 is the cutoff.
Right.
So if you get 62, you're not going to incur any penalties whatsoever.
No, you're maxed out.
You're maxed out. But if you're not 62 and thinking about going out, rule of 90 is what you're trying to achieve.
Right. What about the UA? Do you deal with that at all?
No, so we can forward that document over, but man, recently they've kind of pushed back as to what their documents are, and they also have a surviving spouse, the 50-50 split, or the 75-25 vested split. So you can go online to their website.
Actually, you can.
Yeah, and you can get all of the documents that we're going to give you, probably more updated documents than what we have. And then if you fill them out and bring them in, we'll gladly mail them to you. But the UA is not going to give us any information about their retirement just because it's their independent plan. Yeah.
Cool. All right. And I think we put in the least you can put into it. I think 89 cents is the minimum.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one. So say I retire and my wife has insurance.
Yeah.
Can I leave the local insurance and come back to the plan later on down the road?
So this is a really hot topic.
Yes.
And it's great to ask that because you most certainly can leave your wife's insurance. However, if let's say you're 62 and she's 59, and then you get to 64 and she gets to 62 or 61, whatever her age is, and she loses her job. If you don't return to the union the moment she loses that job, more than likely you're not going to be let in. So the caveat is we will let you kind of skate past those higher premiums.
You get a one-time, right?
One time. But you need to have insurance since you've left, and that has to be verifiable. So if you're because most people are leaving because the premium's a little higher, so they get on their wife's plan where it's cheaper. But once wife's insurance ends, you need to let us know and come back at that time.
What if you hit rock bottom, can't afford, and then go to Medicaid? Can you come back once you hit 65 and get the free insurance?
As long as Medicaid sends us a coverage letter stating that you were covered that whole time. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So, we would need to see some coverage letter from an insurance verifying that you were covered throughout that time, and you didn't just leave us because you didn't want to pay the premiums. You actually had other insurance throughout that time.
Right. Any other interesting questions or issues going up against? How come when I call, I can never get a hold of someone and I always go to Troy, Michigan?
Yeah, so that one is really easy. We're probably on the phone with someone else.
They are. Every time I go down there, they're talking to someone.
And we always give our extensions. Mine is 4490. Cindy's is 4495. So members call us directly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to wait, call our extensions and leave us a voicemail. We'll gladly call back.
Yeah.
So if you get Michigan regularly, call our extension and then leave us a message. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, because if you don't call extension,
Yep.
no one's available. It automatically rolls.
It runs right up
and
to
then you're just up there. And, we're not the only union that they do. So, I mean,
Yeah.
then you're in a queue that's even,
Yeah.
100 times longer.
That's
If
right.
you do get a hold of someone, they're probably not friendly because they've been dealing with,
Yeah. And that representative
all over the country.
that you get might service 10 different unions because
Mhm.
they're just a general call service rep. So they're not going to
With
have
different plans.
Yeah,
then
all
they got,
different
all right, then
plans.
They got to pull up 502. All right.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah, here's Cleveland is another one.
Yeah.
We get a lot of calls from Cleveland where they transfer Cleveland to us mistakenly. And we're like, yeah, we're not Cleveland, sorry. And so, or if a person lives in Kentucky but
Yeah.
maybe works in southern Ohio,
I got you.
we get that one a lot. It's like, yeah, just because they're in Kentucky, it doesn't
Right.
make them our member. But just know that you can call our extensions and leave us a voicemail. We'd be glad to talk to you. Our email, if you've ever emailed us or we email you, just send us an email. A lot of members will just send me an email now. And
That's a good one. Say,
Yeah.
hey, call me.
Yeah.
Last
hey,
time,
here's my
any
situation.
questions, call me. Yeah.
And it gives me a chance to research it before I call you. And then that way the phone call is much smaller.
Yeah, because we're all at work.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And you might be in a lift or something. So if Joe has already sussed out the answer, he can just tell you real quick.
Yeah.
Right back to work.
Yeah.
All right. This is very informative.
Well, I'm glad we did it. Thanks
This
for
is
having
good.
me.
We've been actually wanting to get something like this together for a while. We were kind of waiting to officially see what was happening with retirees insurance.
Mhm.
And of course, we're going to meet this Thursday. So today is Monday the 18th. We are meeting Thursday the 21st.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to really hammer out when that's going to start. So we got to get, the board was okay with it, but now you actually got to put stuff on paper,
Absolutely.
locked in the bylaws of the health welfare plan. So once we get all that sussed out, we'll send the information out. I think we're leaning toward November 1st. Don't quote me, but that's ideally what we'd like to do. So, cool, man.
That'd be great.
Joe's an asset. Use him. Good dude.
Thanks for having me today.
I hear you can golf too. We're going to find out in the scramble. So,
It's not true.
see you, buddy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.